Alrighty, what's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. So if you are new to the series, this is a series where we are just going to be doing brief walkarounds around the bike. It's more so for the purpose of a customer. If you're interested in this bike, then you can at least get a little bit more info about it, get a better look at it, and get a nice walk around. So I did mention it in the previous one, but I think we're going to end up calling this series just simple walk around / walk through, something along those lines. We'll figure it out. But anyways, these are all going to pretty much go up consecutively. So at the end of the month, all of these are going to be posted at once. But we'll see, if we get something in and we've got a customer interested in it, then we'll quickly bang one out. Otherwise, I would like to do it like that, sort of release it in the last week of each month. I think that'll be super, super cool. This time it is going to all be released on one day pretty much, just because of how things played out. There are a few changes that have happened on my channel as well as on Dewet's channel, and also with the company. So because of that, this is kind of just how this is going to play out this time around. But anyways, we're yapping. To get to the point, guys, the previous one we did was the NC750 over there, which is not the DCT. That is the manual. So if you want to see the manual, head over to the previous video and there will be a breakdown on that bike. So because we did first start with a manual, and there might be some people here who just want to find out about the DCT functions, I am going to start with the DCT functions and then move on to the rest of the stuff, just so that if you're here purely to find out about the DCT functions, then you can quickly get this first part of the video watched and then you can go about your business. But anyways, so as you guys can see, we have no clutch lever and no gear shifter. The cameras have got a very wide angle, so I don't know if you can see, but no shifter, no clutch, no nothing, right? So let me actually grab the keys. A lot of people have always wondered, how does it actually work, especially with it being an automatic. How does that gear selection work? How does neutral work? How does your gearing, just how does it all work? Because I also was very confused until I actually had the opportunity to get on one and actually see for myself. Alright, so you guys will see now that we are just in neutral, and the bike will automatically, if the bike is at a standstill and it is off or it is being turned off, it will always go into neutral automatically. If I put it into drive now, I park it in my driveway, when I come back and either start it in the morning, it'll switch to neutral, or it would have already switched to neutral for me. So you don't have to worry about the bike being in gear when you want to move it, and now it's like, now I must turn the bike on, come here, press a button. No, that's not the case. It'll do it automatically for you. That is one of the worries that I've heard from people. Now, in terms of the gearing, you guys will notice that there is a little minus sign over here. Got to be careful of these mirrors. They might end up showing my face. Let's get those out the way. There we go. So you will see there is a minus sign over here, and there's a plus sign as well over there on the other side. So I'm going to include some cinematics and you guys will be able to see that nicely. Workshop expansion is underway. Excuse the cars in the shop. It was heavy rain. Alright, as I was saying, you've got your plus or your minus and your plus. Now I will get into that and I will show you guys a better view of what's going on there when the time comes. But anyways, let me actually show you guys how this thing works. Let me just get a little reverse action going on here. Cha-cha-cha-cha. Alrighty, so we're gonna start it. Now we are in neutral. If I click the button that way, boom, we're in gear. If I press it back, we are in neutral. So now you'll see, just the throttle, nothing happens. Go into gear, and it goes. So I'm just gonna let it warm up a little bit. Anyways, you guys would have seen when I pressed it there, after it was drive, after it was in drive, it did go red. So you guys will see. Now we are in sport mode. So you'll see on the dash over there. Now, what that basically does is it just alters when the bike is shifting gears and stuff like that, but I will get onto that. So we're gonna pop it into drive. Boom. Our kickstand is up, right? So we are in drive, as you can see. If the kickstand goes down, the bike's gonna shut off. As you can see there, it goes into neutral. Awesome. Super cool. I love it. Anyways, neutral again. Start the bike. Into gear, off we go. And it's simply just a matter of accelerate. It's so easy. And once again, you guys will see, once I come to a stop here, just to kind of prove a point, I'm just going to put the kickstand down and watch over there. Boom, neutral. It's so cool. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite features of the bike. Now, because you can't keep it in gear, we do have a handbrake. You simply just pull that up. Your handbrake is now engaged. To disengage it, pull it up, press that button, and now your handbrake is disengaged. Obviously, you've got your indicators, you've got your lights, dims and brights, your hazards. Very, very simple. Now, before I touch on the different modes and how sport mode rides differently to normal mode, I do just want to show you guys, here is that plus and the minus is on this side. Now, you might be wondering, why would they include that on an automatic? And I personally think that the main reason they included it is because when this thing isn't in sport mode, it really likes to be in the highest gear possible. If you are even traveling at about 60 k's an hour, even 40, I found, it's gonna put you into 6th gear. That is the one downside, really. So I think to kind of counteract that, that's why they included this, you know. And sometimes you might want to upshift earlier. Remember, this is an adventure bike, so you might want to be in a higher gear when the bike wants to be in a lower gear, and vice versa. However, as soon as you hit it into that sport mode, your shifting is slightly delayed. So what that means, I'm just going to turn this on for argument's sake. So what that means, let's say we are now driving along the road and we get to 4,000 RPMs. The bike is going to shift, and it's going to continue to shift until it's normally at about 6. It wants to be as fuel efficient as possible, so it's always going to be in the highest gear possible. So it's going to shift at 4. Let's say now we go into sport mode. Now there are two different modes of sport. One is just a little bit intensified. So instead of shifting at 4, now that we're in sport mode, it will shift at about 5.5. If you are in full-blown sport mode, it will only shift at 6. It will not let you go past to 7 and 8, at least not in my experience. I've ridden 4 of these bikes. Not one of them have gone up past 6.5. As I mentioned in the previous review, I do think that this one in particular is probably the ultimate commuter, unless you start looking at the likes of the MT-09s. They do now offer you a DCT version, so if you don't want to have to deal with gears, you can simply just get yourself another DCT. However, why I think this one is slightly better, I'm just going to open all of this now. The reason I think this one is slightly better is purely from a storage point of view. You've got Shelly the mechanic. This is for Dewet&Bikes. Behave yourself. Behave yourself. What's wrong?
Finish first.
Okay, I'm going to be a little while. Yeah, as I was saying, it's purely a storage factor. I mean, you can just about get a helmet in here. The times that I have used these bikes, I have made use of this every single time. If I've got a backpack, I'm putting it in there. Anything, literally anything and everything. I even found myself putting my phone in there. So I love it. It's one of my absolute favorite things about the bike. And the next thing is pretty simple, but it's something that I like. I know it might be a little bit of a hassle. Every time you want to put fuel in, you got to get off your bike. However, here in South Africa, that is a regular practice. We don't put our own fuel in here. So what I love is that there's no fiddling with a key to get into the fuel tank and no, you just twist the key that way. Yes, you have to take it out the ignition, but you know, we can look past that. This thing pops up, you pull it open, and it's simply twist, twist, pull. And there you have it. You can start putting your juice in, and so on and so forth. And some people struggle with this. I struggled with it initially when I first started dealing with these bikes, but it's very simple. You can see there's a little mechanism over there. You simply just pull that up, and you can then close the seat. There you have it. You got your fuel, you got your storage. I mean, it's a beautiful design. Alrighty, now I do have to be careful because I literally did the walk around and talkie about the black NC, so I don't want to miss anything. But staying on to the topic of commuting, I think that these are kind of where it's at. My only complaints with regards to commuting on them is that the seat is a little bit wide for me specifically. If you want to get a little bit more of an in-depth look at, you know, the different widths of seats, again, pop over onto the previous one. I definitely dive into it a little bit more there. And the next thing is obviously just going to be the weight of the bike. It is a little bit heavy, but I think the fact that it's an adventure bike, you know, you can kind of just accept it. Other than that, guys, you know, I don't want to chat too much. I've already spoken a lot about the DCT aspects, and these bikes are very, very similar. You know, whether you're looking at the one behind me there, that manual, and whether you're looking at this or even the 2020 models, they are very, very similar bikes. And yeah, they did a good job, you know, and if it's not broken, don't fix it. That's the way I see it. Overall, awesome bike. We've got executive salesman Tyler, man like Tyler. If you need a bike, message Tyler, phone Tyler, ask Tyler, he'll help you. All in all, guys, it's an awesome bike, extremely well rounded. You know, and this is completely stock, and it's a good looking bike. It's fuel efficient, very fuel efficient. The times that I've ridden these things, I've been like, how is my fuel not going down? Like, I just put 50 bucks in this thing, and now I've gone to Limpopo, bro. So, you know, it's just an extremely well-rounded bike. Anyways, guys, if you made it through to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope I was able to maybe answer some of the questions that you had. And yeah, be sure to tune in to the next one. I don't know what it's going to be yet. We'll figure it out, but it's going to be a good one. I can guarantee you that. Guys, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next one. It's been Big Red from Dewet&Bikes. Cheers.